Hello girlfriends, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. Today we are doing a review that's part of my affordable drugstore series, so I'm excited to be bringing this to you. It's one of CANTU's newer lines. It's the CANTU Weightless collection. Now, it has been out for a while. I think it came out last year in 2025 and I'm just now getting to it this year. But you know, better late than never. I've already actually washed and conditioned my hair, so I've done the shower routine and I'm going to go over those products with you. I guess now, why don't we just jump right into it, okay? Let's jump into the shower scenes and the specs of the products there. The CANTU Weightless Smoothing Shampoo is specifically formulated for waves and loose curls. This lightweight smoothing shampoo is perfect for looser curl types and textures and gently cleanses without weighing hair down. It's formulated with organic fair trade blue agave to promote healthier, smoother hair. The organic blue agave is a smoothing hair humectant that attracts and retains water to provide moisture, shine, and smoother hair that helps to fight frizz. The directions say that to wet hair completely, massage into wet hair beginning at the root and work to the ends. Lather and rinse thoroughly with cool water. This is what I would call a gentle cleansing shampoo, and I found that it works better to go in with the second cleanse, like it does oftentimes with many shampoos. So the second time lathered a lot better. It did leave my hair feeling cleaned, but it didn't leave it feeling stripped or anything like that. I was a little surprised. I thought it might be a little bit more of a clarifying one since it is supposed to be a lightweight line, but it wasn't, and it worked well. It just was kind of unremarkable in my opinion. I liked it, but it wasn't wowed. This is the CANTU Weightless Smoothing Conditioner, formulated with rich moisture, perfect for waves and loose curls, leaving you with long-lasting frizz-free strands. The lightweight conditioner easily detangles for smooth, soft, frizz-free curls. Formulated with organic fair trade blue agave to promote stronger, smoother, healthier looking hair. The directions say to apply to clean, wet hair, leave on for a few minutes, then rinse thoroughly with cool water. A little goes a long way. The moisture on this conditioner was decent. It wasn't heavy or anything like that. It was just the right amount for moisture, but the slip is where I felt like it was a little lacking for detangling my hair. It eventually got there. I was eventually able to finger detangle, but it was just rather unremarkable. I was left unamazed. Now for the stylers, I actually have 3 different stylers because we are going to be doing a split section routine. So I have my hair divided in the center, and I just couldn't decide between the 15 Benefits Daily Leave-In or the Smooth Curl Cream. So we're doing this as a side-by-side, and then we'll go in with the gel as the topper. So let's get started with this. Let's start out with, which one should I go first? Alright, since we always start on my left side of the hair, let's go with the right side this time. And I'm going to go in with the 15 Benefits Daily Leave-In Conditioner. I'm going to give you some specs, some information on this product, and then we'll begin applying it. This is the CANTU Weightless 15 Plus Benefits Daily Leave-In Cream. It's great for all hair types. It provides heat protection up to 482 Fahrenheit and 250 Celsius, and the protection from environmental damage. It's made with fair trade blue agave, known to help promote stronger, smoother, healthier looking hair. This daily leave-in cream provides more than 15 unique benefits for scalp and strands. This cream prevents breakage, adds volume, strengthens, conditions dry strands, refreshes curls, adds shines, detangles, smooths, and softens. The directions say to apply evenly on clean, damp hair or dry hair. Do not rinse. It can also be used to moisturize a dry scalp. Style as desired. Alright you guys, so I don't know what I was thinking. I grabbed way too much here. I think I was just trying to give you a good product shot. That was my line of thinking, but I need to wipe this off because there's just so much product on my hands. It reminds me in many ways of the CANTU Curl Activator. I've tried that years ago, and that product just like a little bit goes a long way. And I do think I need to wet this side of my hair down a little bit more as well. So I've put the product in my hair, the leave-in in my hair. You can't see it necessarily, but trust me, it's in there. I don't want to go with too much. So I'm going to brush this through. Lifting up my sections here a little bit just to try to work it in those inner areas. Now, as far as how it feels in my hair right now, like I can feel product lightly in my hair, like not a ton, just like that perfect amount, at least I think so at this point. And so it does feel smooth. It does feel very soft. As far as detangling, my hair was already very detangled, so I can't tell about that. I think now at this point is going to be a good time to go in with my brush styling on this side. Let me section my hair and I'll get back with you as I begin the actual brushing part. All right, so I've already done like the back quadrant of my hair. Just I did that off camera because it was more difficult for both you and I to see. But so far my brush has just glided through this hair. So this product does provide a lot of slip. I imagine it would be good for detangling. Like I said though, my hair really wasn't tangled when I put this product in. So I can't really fully say that it, you know, what it's going to do for the tangles, but the slip that it's giving me with the brush styling just leads me to believe that would be good for it. Does that make sense? Hopefully. All right, what's going on here with my section? It's always a little bit more difficult for me to brush style with my hair like split in half because I feel like I have to break my sections up more than I normally would have or more than I'm used to. And I guess I'm just not well rehearsed with this, but we're making it work. We're getting there. I always like to spray these face framing pieces down a little bit more. They dry out the fastest, I feel like. And then we're going to go through and scrunch this in. I have a good amount of water in there. I can hear a little bit of the squish. The microphone probably isn't picking it up, but I can hear it as I'm brush styling, or as I'm scrunching, I should say. All right, I have just re-wet this top section down. I'm going to fast forward through the styling of this, and then I will meet you back when we're ready to go on to the next product. All right, so far I like what I'm seeing, but it's very hard to tell on my type of hair, you know, what it's going to give me until it's dried. So, plus we still have another product to add on top of that. So let's move on to my left side. Once again, re-wetting this down before applying the cream. All right, so we had the Smooth Plus Curl Cream. Let's go in with the information on this product then. This is the CANTU Weightless Smooth Plus Curl Cream, especially formulated for waves and loose curls. Our Weightless Smooth Plus Curl Cream softly activates curls while imparting long-lasting moisture. Made with organic fair trade blue agave extract, ingredients known to help promote stronger, smoother, healthier looking hair. The squalene, metal foam, and macadamia help to moisturize hair strands and leave curls looking light, bouncy, and frizz-free. The directions say to smooth onto damp hair section by section and begin at the root and work towards the ends. Do not rinse, and it can also be used on dry hair to re-moisturize. All right, interestingly, it does work up on my hands, but I feel like not quite as much as what the leave-in did. And it's kind of backwards from my way of thinking that it would normally be. I always would have thought like, you know, the leave-in would be a little bit lighter, and maybe in the end it still will be a lighter product, but it just surprised me. Okay, I have some extra product on my hands. Let me wipe this off. I feel like the cream ever so slightly was a little bit easier to get off my hands and onto my hair. It really wasn't like a huge difference. Like there wasn't much to notice, but if I'm really being picky, if I'm really trying to find a difference, because right now I am, they feel very similar. They both have so far left my hair feeling very smooth. I think you could detangle probably with this cream as well. Yeah, my hair feels so far the same as it did with the leave-in. I'll give you a side-by-side product shot a little bit later here. Actually, maybe I'll just put that in right now at this point while I am sectioning my hair and let you guys see what that looks like. All right, so now I'm going in with, once again, my second quadrant on this side with the cream. And I've got to say, so far, I still don't really notice any differences. My brush is gliding through, not having any issues. I feel like it has good slip. And at this point, while my hair is still wet, it's still hard to determine, you know, what those differences may be, if there are any. It has the same scent as the leave-in and basically the rest of the line. But have you guys tried this product at all? Let me know if you guys have. Like I said, I know I'm kind of late to the game. It's been out for, gosh, I don't know what time it came out in 2025. I know I have it in one of my What's New videos, but it's been out for a while. I want to say, I'm just guessing off the top of my head, it's been out for probably, at the time you're seeing this, close to a year. All right, I'm going to re-wet. See how fast this dries? Can you guys see that? Like, there's already frizz forming on that. That's ridiculous. I just like wet it down when I wet this whole section down. And I guess that is what it is. It's always been that way, so I shouldn't be surprised. All right, now let's just kind of rake my fingers through and scrunch this. Once again, I can hear a little bit of the water in there as I'm scrunching. Okay, I like what I'm seeing so far, but I still have to do the top section. So let me speed through this. All right, I'm going to take this other clip out. I just put this clip in to try to kind of protect it so I didn't like snag this side of my hair as I was brush styling my other section. Okay, I'm looking in a mirror down here a little bit, and you guys, honestly, I can't tell too much of a difference. Why don't you guys take a little bit more of a detailed look here versus the leave-in side. All right, once again, I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more water. I know this gets very repetitive probably for you guys, but I like to style on soaking wet hair. I've said before, everyone's different as far as the amount of water that you feel like you need works best for your hair. You'll just have to play around with that. But now we are going to go in with the final styler, and that is the Smooth and Hold Gel. So I'm going to give you the specs on this product and we'll begin applying it. This is the CANTU Weightless Smooth Plus Hold Gel, especially formulated for waves and curls. This lightweight hold gel provides pliable, shapeable curls with long-lasting medium hold and no flaking. It encases defined curls with a smooth, shiny gel cast for frizz-free, weatherproof curls that last all day. Made with organic, fair trade blue agave, known to promote stronger, smoother, healthier-looking hair, plus meadow foam and macadamia to help moisturize hair strands. The directions say to get a gel cast on wet hair, section and distribute with fingertips raking from roots to ends. Air dry or diffuse with a blow dryer to define the texture and style. On dry hair, to apply to fingertips for structure and hold. To break the gel cast, you could coat your fingers with a light oil and lightly scrunch the curls upward to achieve desired style. All right, so this has kind of a consistency of what I would call like a cream gel or custard-like gel. Normally, I associate those to be a little bit more moisturizing, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have more of a clear, true jelly-like consistency for a line that is supposed to be weightless. But that's not to say that this isn't going to be weightless. I don't know. I'm just a little surprised by it. All right. Normally, I would like to go in upside down, but when I do a side-by-side, I don't really like to do that because I'm afraid like I'm going to disturb things. But I am going to go in with just a little bit more after I get this hair off my hands. All right, about that amount more. This does have a little bit of a tack to it. I think you saw that as I was doing the initial product shot of this. And just gonna really scrunch that in. Focusing a little bit more on the back here. All right, I do still have a little bit of gel on my hands, but let me see. Okay, what I really want to do is get the nape of my neck. That's what I really want to do. I've never done it quite like this, but I guess we're making that work. But now there is still a little bit of residue on my hands. I'm just gonna wipe that off. There wasn't much left over this time though, compared to like the leave-in and the cream. Now, normally at this point in my routine, I would put my wet plop on just to try to help marinate the products into my hair. But since I'm doing a side-by-side style, I generally don't do that. So we're just gonna go straight in and diffuse, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you the results. So can't wait to see what we're gonna have. All right, and just like that, we are back with my hair fully diffused and styled. So let's take a look at these results. This is the cream side and what the curls are looking like. And then this is the 15 plus benefits, I'm sorry, leave-in side. And this is what the curls are looking like. I'm going to actually start off with the similarities that both these sides have because there are a fair amount of them. One, my hair has a significant amount of frizz on both sides. Two, my hair is very soft throughout. There was never a cast on my hair. 3, my hair did dry pretty fast. Both sides seem to dry at the same rate. I didn't have one that stayed a little bit more damp longer than the other. Like I said, they dried the same. 4, I think they both have about the same amount of shine. Now, it might be a little bit hard to tell because I have some light coming in directly from here I'm trying to work this other light that I have as best as I can to try to compensate for that, but I do think when I was looking in the bathroom that they have about the same level of shine. Now what I'm noticing, the biggest difference that I'm noticing is that I feel like the leave-in side has a little bit more lift to it. It has just a little bit more volume, and it does say that in the specs that's supposed to help provide volume. And that's not usually something I see in the information for leave-ins, but I thought that was interesting. And I do think, now it's not like a significant difference. Both sides have bouncy curls and everything like that. Oh, that's another thing I didn't say in the comparison part. Both sides have well-defined curls, but I just think ever so slightly the curl cream side is a little bit more, I don't want to say flat. She's not flat. She's just not quite as voluminous as the leave-in side. Both sides are lightweight too. I didn't say that. Geez, what are we up to? That was 5 or 6 things that are similar. So both sides are very, very lightweight, and I can appreciate that. Because with that gel, I thought that might have been a little bit more of a moisturizing gel, but it turns out, I mean, it's moisturizing. My hair feels moisturized well on both sides. They feel the same, actually. I can't tell a difference between the two sides at this point. I'm definitely going to check back tomorrow just to see how things are holding up and to give my final thoughts, my final judgments at that point. I'll also go through each of the products individually, what I like or don't like about them. But I can tell you right now, I am disappointed with the frizz level. I'm looking over these notes that says for both the cream and the gel, and it both says that they're supposed to help control frizz. On the cream, it says bouncy and frizz free, and the gel, it says that it's supposed to give shiny gel cast for frizz free weatherproof curls that last. So far, she's not frizz-free, and I don't see it reversing anytime soon. Oh, you know what? Before we leave, though, let me show you the back of my hair, too. I think that's going to be all now at this point for day 1. I will definitely, like I said, check back on day 2, give you more information then. We'll see how the curls are holding up, and I will catch you then, I guess. Alright friends, I am back for day 2 using the CANTU products. I have the 15 Plus Benefits Daily Leave-In Cream on this side, which I always thought was more of like a leave-in conditioner. And then I have the Smooth Plus Curl Cream on this side. And so let's take a look first at the Smooth Plus Curl Cream. And the underneath here. And then this is the 15 Plus Benefits Daily Leave-In Cream. And the underside. One thing I forgot to address, actually a couple things. Let me show you the back of my hair real quick first. All right, the thing that I was originally thinking that I forgot to address yesterday was that the side with the Daily Leave-In Cream, this one felt like it was just a little bit more full, a little bit more thick. I did say it had a little bit more volume to it. I think that's pretty much evened out now at this point, but yesterday it did feel just a little bit more full in general. You know what I forgot to do yesterday as well, and it wouldn't have affected you guys necessarily with the YouTube videos, but I forgot to take like the side-by-side pictures of my hair for Instagram. I just thought of that now too. So I'm kind of mentally kicking myself. Anyways, I'm getting way off tangent here. Let's dive into what each of these sides have offered. I've mentioned the creams I've put on my hair, okay? I forgot to say, but you guys were with me, I think, for the first part of the video. I did put in the Smooth Plus Hold Gel. So I did put that in as well over both sides of these. Just the two sides have the different kind of creams. So the Smooth Plus Curl Cream had decent definition in it yesterday, but there was a lot of frizz, and there still is a lot of frizz. The definition I have is still kind of there, but it's just a little bit more wonky. I feel like some of the curls are a little bit more misshapen and everything like that. Probably just from, you know, doing daily things yesterday and then sleeping on it. Although I will say I totally expected my hair to look a lot worse this morning when I woke up. I'll get into a little bit more of that later here after I go on to this side. So there is a lot of frizz on this curl cream. There is some misshapen curls, but there still is some definition. It's just not as much as I would like to see. My curls are a little less bouncy. They're a little less springy and just a little bit more stretched out. It doesn't look terrible. It's not my favorite. Now moving on to the 15 Plus Benefits Daily Cream. This one, once again, similar in a way. The curls look a little bit different to me. I don't know quite what it is. Like, I can't put my finger on it. I still think that, I guess maybe this side looks a little bit fuller to me, but there is some definition. There is definitely plenty of frizz as well. There are some wonky curls. Things are a little bit more misshapen and everything like that. On the underside, there's more frizz. On the top side, there's still frizz, but there's also just more like misshapen curls. One thing I noticed yesterday is like the curl clumps on this side just kept clumping together, and I kept separating them more, I felt like. So once again, overall, it's not terrible looking. I just don't love my results. I never loved my day 1 results on either side, to be truthfully honest. And I'm not loving my day 2 results. But the point that I was going to get to as well, and I held off on, is that the way day 1 was progressing, like I felt like I was getting more frizz, more misshapen curls. I just didn't, like I said, in general, like my day 1 results from the beginning to the end. And I will say day 2, like I expected it to continue to progress. I feel like for the most part, this hairstyle has kind of maintained itself then at this point. Like there has been no extreme further destruction of the curls than what was already there. I will say also yesterday, something I noticed, I looked in the mirror after I had done the video. I looked at the back of my hair a little bit better. And I did feel like the cohesiveness of the curls on the Smooth Plus Curl Cream side looked a little bit better, as far as like the ends were more like just at a normal length, I want to say, like all one length. And like I said, the cohesiveness of the curls, just the pattern looked a little bit better. Whereas the 15 Plus Benefits Daily Cream, that one, the curls didn't look bad, like I said, but they just, like the ends of them didn't, like there was curl here and then like the ends kind of straightened out, if that makes any sense. And I can still kind of see the remnants of that a little bit. It kind of is hanging just a slight bit longer or a slight bit less curly on the bottom here. Not the end of the world. I actually probably think it looks a little bit better than it did yesterday, but then again, I'm not looking at the back of it in the mirror like I did yesterday. Once again though, I'm just going to reiterate, I'm not that impressed with my day 1 results or my day 2 results, but day 2 I feel like could have been a lot worse. Let's go over these individual products though, what I like or don't like about them. The Weightless Smoothing Shampoo I thought was a pretty good shampoo. It is a gentle cleanser. It isn't going to be stripping, but it does leave your hair feeling fully cleaned. It's not one of those that I would go in for a clarifying shampoo. You're still going to need a clarifying shampoo in your routine if you use this, but I think overall it's a pretty good shampoo. It does lather up well. It took me 2 times for it to lather up good, but that's normal. That's to be expected. And I did think, like I said, it did a good job of cleansing the hair. Now for the smoothing conditioner, this was a pretty good conditioner. Like it doesn't wow me because there's 2 things that I look for in a conditioner. One is that it gives me weightless moisture, and 2 is that it helps me detangle. Those are the 2 primary things that I look for in a rinse out conditioner. And this did give me the weightless moisture. I will say that my hair was not weighed down whatsoever when I was finished. As far as the detangling though, the smoothing and detangling, it did eventually get there. I felt like I could eventually detangle my hair, but it just took a while for like the slip to help, and it still wasn't like a ton of slip. It took me a while to finger detangle. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't overly difficult, but I just felt like the slip wasn't awe-inspiring. Once I finished finger detangling though and rinsed out my hair felt great though. I really did like the combination of the shampoo and conditioner at the end of the washing routine. Moving on to the 2 base stylers that I have, the 15 Plus Benefits Daily Cream and the Smooth and Curl Cream. You don't need both of these in my opinion. Just get one or the other, and you can maybe base it off of what my hair looks like or what it doesn't. I don't know. I think either one of these would be pretty good, pretty decent for an affordable drugstore cream. I would just pair them with a different gel. I just don't think that this gel was it. And we'll get into that a little further down the line. This 15 Benefits cream, it lists them all on the side. It's supposed to provide heat protection up to 482 degrees Fahrenheit, which, you know, I'm gonna have to take them at their word for this. I've not experienced any damage, but you know, I haven't used it very long, only one time. Combat frizz, I don't really think it helps to combat frizz. Protect hair from environmental damage. Once again, I'm gonna have to take them at their word at that. I haven't used this for a prolonged period of time. Promotes healthy hair growth. Once again, I don't know at this point. Seal and protect color, I don't know. I mean, I do have plenty of gray hairs, but they're covered up right now pretty decently. Prevent breakage. Once again, I don't know. Add volume. Yes, it does add volume, I think. Prevent split ends. I don't know at this amount of time. Condition dry strands. Yes, I do agree that it conditions the dry strands. Strengthens strands. I don't know. I don't feel any super strengthening properties about this whole routine in general. Refreshes curls. I've not used it as a curl refresh. Adds shine. Yes, there was a decent amount of shine. Detangling, I can't tell you because my hair was already detangled. Softens hair. Yes. Smooths hair to a degree. Yes, especially as you're like brushing it in. But is my hair smooth then once I'm done, once I'm finished styling? No, because I think there's plenty of frizz. And moisturizes dry scalp. I didn't put this on my scalp, so that is running through the 15 benefits, what I think it does and doesn't help with, and things I can't determine really with just one use. Now for the Smooth Plus Curl Cream, I think this is very similar, like I said, to the 15 plus benefits daily cream. Does it help my hair feel stronger? Like I said, I don't really think so. I didn't notice any strengthening benefits to it. Smoother? Yes, maybe initially, but there's still a lot of frizz, so it didn't smooth down the frizz. Healthier looking hair? I guess. I mean, it looks healthier than my naked hair completely because I have done a video on that. I don't know if it's out at this time or if it's still coming out, but I do have that video in the works if it's not up yet. Is it lightweight? It's lightweight compared to some of my creams, but it's not the most lightweight thing I've ever felt. Bouncy and frizz-free curls? No, I don't think it's super bouncy. Like there's definitely like some curl spring there, but not a ton. Let's see if I can show you here. Like this, there's not a ton of spring. Can you see this? Okay. Like, I guess that looks a little bit more than I thought it was going to be, but there's just not a ton of bounce and spring back. There's not, no, and definitely not for the frizz free. As I said before, a number of times, I have far more frizz than I would like on day one, and even day two, like it's not great. I think either of those creams could work decently for a person with more medium to coarse hair, more of a rougher finished hair. I think those of you with very soft finished hairs really are not going to benefit from either of those creams. But for me, the biggest disappointment for me was the Smooth and Hold Gel. This does not smooth the frizz. It does not hold. There is no cast to it. My hair is completely soft. It gave instructions for getting cast, and maybe if I would have like brush styled this in, worked it into each section a little bit more intentionally, maybe that would have worked. But I don't like this. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't control the frizz and it doesn't give me much hold. There's even no grit to this either, which some of us with finer hair like that. Some of us with a softer finish, I should say, like to have a little bit of grit in our hairstyle somewhere in the routine, because then it helps our curls hold a little bit more, gives our curls a little bit more structure so they don't fall out as well. This does not provide that. So I guess maybe if you have really dry hair and just like a really soft finish, maybe this might work for you, but I have a hard time recommending this gel. One good thing about this affordable drugstore routine is that it's just that it is affordable. So I purchased everything for under $7, just under $7. But in today's world, that's getting more difficult to find every day. I will say though, I did have to purchase these online. I could not find them in any of the stores that I had gone to, and I did go out of my town. I did search several stores, could not find them on ground. So I did have to purchase them through the Walmart website. Let us know, like I said, because I did not purchase these like initially when they first came out, so they have been out for a while. Let us know if you guys have tried any of these products and what your thoughts are. We'd love to learn from you as well. Everyone has different experiences, so maybe you might like something like this that I did not enjoy. I have a hard time really recommending these. I could see some benefits maybe for the creams paired with something else, and even the Washday products weren't bad, but nothing like wowed me, nothing jumped out to me. But let me know if you guys have a different experience. We'd love to hear from you, and I can't wait to see you again in the next video. So until then, have a wonderful day. Bye.